Thanks for being here. This is so exciting for us to see you guys, to meet you guys. My name's Joel. I direct the design, the graphic design, the web design here at Answers in Genesis. And we love VBS because of you guys and the impact that you make on so many kids across the country. So thank you for being here. It's very exciting. How many of you, raise your hand if you used any of our online digital stuff last year? Okay. I saw quite a few hands. But I saw a lot of hands that were not up, a lot of people that didn't raise their hands. And I've got some great news. There is a free version of this that you can use for your church. So no matter what kit you bought, there's a free version available. And then there's the upgrade to digital. So we're going to dive into that, and we're going to talk about what's free, what's in the paid digital add-on, and so let's get into it. We love feedback from you guys. This is some feedback we got last year, and this is really what we want. Because digital, I love digital, right? I get excited about digital because I'm a geek. But I know that I'm weird, okay? Most people, a lot of you guys are intimidated by digital. And so what we want digital to feel like is it's just an assistant that takes a lot of the hard, complicated stuff and makes it a little easier for you. Hopefully a lot easier. So we want it to feel like you have a digital assistant that went with you wherever you go. This was another feedback, another quote we got. Cut registration time so much. So this is our number one feature is registration. How many of you already use a child check-in software for your church? Do you have child check-in? Raise your hand. Okay, only a few. With VBS, you have a lot more kids often, and so that's one of the things that becomes a challenge in some churches. So how many of you last year, for your last year's VBS, had more than 50 kids? Raise your hand. More than 100? More than 250? Still a few hands up. More than 500? Okay. Cool. So let's talk about the free version that comes with any kit. So any kit you buy, any Answers VBS kit, you get some really neat features. The one I mentioned is registration. And so you get some registration tools that are really cool. Another one is a full checklist. So I'm just going to do a kind of a flyby overview of the features that are included in the free and the paid, and then I'm going to jump into the tool and show you some things and how they work. You get a public web page that you can use to market and promote your event. And that's where you can process your registrations and things like that. And this tool and the public web page and the tool, they work on any device connected to the internet. How many of you have a smartphone? Raise your hand. Maybe I should have asked how many people don't. Everybody raised their hands. Okay. It's mobile friendly, all right? You can pull it up on your smartphone. You can use the tool from anywhere. You can get access to the content from anywhere. You can get email alerts of your new registrations. You can organize your students into teams. You can print name tags. This is all in the free version, guys. So you can sign up for this today in the back or on your smartphone. You can generate and print your rotation schedules. Rotations can be hard to do in Excel, but we have some tool that makes it really easy. You can even, if you used it last year, when you're creating your new event, you can copy over your settings and keep them from the previous year. And in addition to all those tools, we've got some free content for you. So a lot of the presenters have mentioned the DVD resources, right? The DVD-ROM. Well, a lot of laptop computers don't have a DVD-ROM anymore, DVD drive. And so you have to either get an external one, or sometimes, one person has the DVD and the other person doesn't, things like that. So we've put all of the resources that are on that DVD-ROM online. You can access them from your smartphone. You can access them from home, anywhere you want. And there's a ton of stuff in here. Decorations, missions, promotion, games, presentations, teaching, snacks, crafts, assembly, director, special needs. Those are all just the categories. There's hundreds and hundreds of files in there that you can download and browse through. So it's really handy. So all of that is in the free version. Also in the free version is a supplies ordering tool. So as you're planning your VBS, you realize, oh, we need more t-shirts, or we need something else. Then you've got a really easy ordering process right from inside the tool. So all of that we just talked about is free. You can go create your event in the system and start planning your VBS in the system. It's great. So you've been seeing this logo around. This represents the paid digital side. So you can buy a kit that includes Plus Digital, the digital add-on. And there's two components to it, kind of like with the free. There's the tools and the library. So let's dive into what's specifically in that. And Page 8 in your catalog describes a little bit of this. So these are the two components. There's the tools, and we'll go into the features of those tools. And then there's the digital library, which is searchable and has just a huge amount of content in there, over $400 in value and content in the digital library. And here's kind of the prices you can see on that page. The Super Starter Kit Plus Digital is $288. The Starter Kit Plus Digital is $248. But again, if your church hasn't budgeted for the digital upgrade, you can still use the free tools. So it's a great opportunity. There's also an insert in your catalog. If you didn't get one of these, they're on the digital table in the back. There's some extras. And so a lot of the content we're talking about is coming straight from there. And it's also available at myanswers.com. So the digital tools, let's talk about that first half. And again, the goal here is to take all of the hard, complicated stuff, all of the huge numbers of printouts and spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff, and simplify it in a tool and keep your VBS running smoothly. The first one is event promotion. We allow you to post things on social media, create your own personalized event page. I'm going to just do a real quick flyby here. So in the paid version, you have registration forms in the free version. In the paid version, you can customize those registration forms. So a lot of the features in the digital add-on allow you to customize different things. It's safe and secure. Both versions are safe and secure. They use the little lock icon in your browser. That'll be there. You'll see that. And in the Plus version, you can actually download your data to Excel. So somebody asked me a question earlier about they use a different system for their child check-in. Well, you could download all of your student registration data and put it in that check-in system if that was a requirement for you. We've got an event scheduler. I talked a little bit about that. Two of the paid features in this category are attendance tracking. And so that's come a long way since last year. Attendance tracking is really good. And then you can also invite other people into the tool to give them access to the content, or so they can help you with planning. I know a number of you are groups of people here that are all planning VBS together, and that's wonderful. And you could have multiple people working on different things inside the tool to plan it out. So that's the digital tools. Again, that's just kind of the overview of all of the things inside Digital Tools Plus. The other half is digital library. So all of your VBS content is in one place. So over $400 in value of content. There's just a huge amount of stuff in here. One of the new things this year is all of the music. And that's one of the biggest values here, is because it's not just the contemporary, it's also the traditional, the simple songs for kids. All the music is right there. You've got your stereo, your split track, all the different files. You've got your song motion videos that you've been seeing on the screen. You've got the slides for the lyrics, song lyrics. All that stuff is easy to access and download from within the digital library. It also makes it easy to share. So, if you're sharing files with your video guy, if you're sharing files with your teachers, sometimes that can be challenging and difficult. You can actually just send them an invite from within the tool, and they can get in and access it themselves, which is really handy. Did I mention it's mobile friendly? You can get to it on your device from anywhere connected, and it works great. All the features are optimized for any screen size, and you can access your data and content from anywhere. And you can download the content for offline use, which is really handy too. So it's easy to print from the tool, print friendly, and I mentioned before the resources from the DVD-ROM are all built into the library. So there's just a ton of stuff packed into it. This is all the full list of stuff, and again, that's in the digital insert, so you can read through and see exactly what's in there. One of the questions I got was whether the scene setters files were in there. They're one of the few things that's not in the tool, and the main reason for that is because it would cost more for you to print them than to just buy them. So that artwork's not, but there is a bunch of, there's 20 decorating posters, 8 rotation posters, 26 teaching posters. There's a bunch of decorating tools from the resources DVD-ROM. That's all built into the tool. So we talked about this already. There's the pricing and what's included. You'll notice that the Super Starter Kit Plus Digital is only $40 more than the Starter Kit Plus Digital. And the reason for that is the Starter Kit doesn't usually come with the music, but the digital does. And so when you buy a Starter Kit Plus Digital, you get music as well, which is really cool. You can order your kits at answersvbs.com. It's also available in the order form. You can see the digital kits there as well. And when you get your kit, to actually get into the digital, if you bought it from answersvbs.com, you'll get an email right away that has your access key to get into myanswers.com, which is where the tool lives. But if you ordered your kit already, in your kit, you'll receive a digital kit access card. And this is a really cool, again, we're trying to make digital not be scary, not be intimidating. It's an easy step-by-step process to how you log in, how you enter your code to get access to all the great features in the digital add-on. If you can show that you already created your event on myanswers.com, already registered, then we'll give you a free DVD today. So stop by the table in the back. We've got a computer set up there if you want to register right now and get a free DVD. Or if you did it on your phone or did it at home, just show us that you've done that, and you can take one of those free DVDs home with you. We've got a bunch of them, so I hope a bunch of you guys get in there. All right, myanswers.com, that's where the digital tool lives and the digital library lives, so go there. And let's jump into a demo. So you're actually going to see what the tool looks like and how it works. So when you go to myanswers.com/VBS, you'll see a page like this. And this is all of the marketing content. So I know I went through it really quick, but if you have questions, you can dive in there. And then we'll launch the digital tools. It'll ask you to log in. So that's part of that process. If you already have an Answers in Genesis account on the website, you can use that to log in, or you can create a new one. It's very easy and fast. And then you can create your new event. Okay? If you had an event with us last year, it'll show down below, or you can just start new. You choose your theme, and then you go through a couple of other steps. One of the steps some people might get confused by is, how many of you already know your dates for VBS? You've already planned that out? A lot of you. Good job. Way to go. Some of you might not, and if you haven't, that's fine. You can still create your event. Just put a tentative date in there, and you can go back and change it later. So this is kind of your dashboard. This is your landing page inside of your event. And you can see there's a lot going on here. You've got your dates. You've got this checklist, colorful checklist, which is really cool. And it's a neat way of just getting you started, right? We're trying to make it real easy. It takes the content from the director's guide, big director's guide, right? And tries to simplify it down into just some easy steps to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more approachable. And then there's some things in here that it'll set up for the event in the system. And it'll help you get started. It'll help you create your registration, things like that. It tells you how many students are registered. You can register your volunteers through the system. There's some supplies. And it kind of gives you just a quick overview. When you get the digital add-on, when you get the Kit Plus digital, then you also get the ability to invite other people. And so we've got a checklist for your crafts coordinator and your decorating coordinator and all these different people so that they have stuff they can do very easily. And it takes the guides for those people and just breaks them down into a nice, easy checklist, which is really handy. The VBS supplies, I mentioned that before. All the supplies for VBS are right in the tool here. There's even a feature where you or one of your coordinators can add an item that they see to your church wish list. So they might say, hey, I want your decorating coordinator, your promotional guy might say, I want a promotional poster and an outdoor banner. And they can add a comment here, and you then have the choice to be able to move that into your cart and purchase that. Or you could, email them and say, sorry, we're not getting that today. So under the Promote tab, this is where you get into that public web page and the registration. Here's what the public web page looks like. And all this stuff is customizable. You can show and hide all these different aspects. You can change the text. So you can come in here and edit. You can edit the URL, the link. You can edit the title, edit your dates and times from here, put some custom messaging, some custom text. You can link to your church social media. You can even, sometimes the mapping systems don't get the church location exactly right, so you can drag the dot around to get it right. You can include the video promo if you want. You can include some resources if you want them to see those. So there's a bunch of great ways to promote your VBS. We've also got some stuff in the tool to help you promote on social media. So we've got banners you can download or share, for Twitter, for Facebook. We've even got a countdown that you could put on your church website. It's already designed for you. So there's all kinds of little things like that. And then when you create your event, you can choose to list it on answersvbs.com. So anybody that is familiar with Answers in Genesis, we often get requests for people looking for a church in their area that uses Answers VBS. So that's just an extra marketing thing for your church. You might get some new people who might be interested in your church and you didn't even know. So that's a neat way to promote your event. So again, back to the promote section. Your registration forms, this is what they look like. You can register multiple students at once. Volunteer registration. And again, with the free version, the registration forms are just based on what's recommended in our director's guide. But when you get the paid version of the digital tools, you can come in here and you can customize all of these fields. Some of them are required for the system to work, like email address and things like that. But you can add your own fields. You can edit your age groups. You can rearrange the fields, the sort order. You can add little messages or headers. So it's a very flexible system for handling that registration process. So let's jump over to people. So once you got all that set up, people are flowing into the system, they're starting to register, then you've got the ability to dive into their information and start organizing and keeping your people straight. So you've got students, volunteers, and coordinators. And if you click into the students, you can see this is a really handy list. It's a nice way to just filter through and search and see how many students have registered. You've got a little legend up here for students that are new, students that have allergy conditions or medical challenges. So you can search your students, or you can filter, and you can filter by in a bunch of different ways. You can filter by what team they're on. The default system, it's really handy. The default system, when you create your teams in the system, you can say, all right, this team, I want to have 5th grade boys. And this team has 5th grade girls, if you want to separate them, right? And when somebody registers, it automatically assigns. And so it automatically creates this nice structure for you, and especially if you're having a lot of students, that can save you a lot of time. And of course, you can rearrange them if you need to. If somebody requests, they want to be with their best friend, Susie. Like, that's fine too. You can rearrange them. And then we've got attendance built into this as well. So during your event, you'll see a check-in button right here, which is really handy. And you've got a bunch of options here, like printing name tags. So let's see what that looks like. Print name tags with background. So this is really handy. You can print the name tags with the background or without the background. With the background, if you want to use your color ink in your printer, and you can use an Avery label. But you can print without the background and just run our VBS name tags through your printer, and that works great too. So it's already set up and configured for that template, and it works really well. Notice they are the vertical name tags, and they match the lanyards that we have as well. You can print your full team roster. You can select students. You can assign them to a class manually. You can print just their name tags if new students come in. You can check multiple students in at the same time. So it's really handy if you click into one of the students. Oh, there's our attendance page, sorry. So you can do check-in that way, or you can come here if you want to do check-in after the fact, and you can see all of your teams and all of your students and volunteers and do your check-in like in the evening. If you're writing it down on paper and you want to manage it in the system afterward, you can do that. And then you can jump into the student themselves. And this is really handy on mobile, because you might have an emergency, or you might have a reason to contact their parents. You can just come in here on your mobile device, tap emergency contact, and it'll dial on your phone, which is really handy to be able to stay in contact that way. It'll do the same thing with email address. It'll pull up your default email app and manage it that way. So then volunteers work very similar. We've got a new volunteer here, and we want to make just managing all of this information a little bit easier, right? So when somebody signs up, you don't want to assume that they're going to be a great volunteer in the area they requested, right? So you can come in here and you can assign a particular role to them. And it's nice because it tells you which roles they requested, but you don't have to choose that. You could choose a different role for them if you wanted to. And you could assign them, if they're they requested to be a team leader, you could assign them to which team and hit save, and it's all in the system. And then when you go to print out your schedule and things like that, it'll keep it all straight for you. Here's how you can edit your teams. And again, I was talking about how you can set up teams so that they auto-assign with an age group or a gender, and you can have a size limit. So if you have two teams with the same criteria, it'll alternate assigning students to those teams. It just helps keep it all straight for you. Volunteer roles are very similar. You can say how many you need, and then when you're assigning, it'll tell you if you have all the people you need in that area. And this is the area where you can share things with other people, right? So if you want to share the content with your teachers, you can add them as a coordinator. Just type in their email address, select teacher, and go ahead and invite them. And they'll get into the system. One of the other things you can do with coordinators that I should mention is a team leader. So some people take attendance at the entrance to the VBS. Some people have their team leaders take attendance of each of their little groups, right? Well, you could set up your team leaders with access to this on their smartphone, and they could take attendance for you right in the system. So that's kind of a cool way to do that. So scheduling for rotations can be kind of hard. I don't know how many of you have done this in Excel, but you need like a bunch of different, you need like the overview, and that's not that hard to lay out. But then you need a view for each of your classrooms, and then you need a view for each of your teams, so they all know where they're going at the right place, right? It can get kind of confusing. So we wanted to take that problem and make it a little bit easier for you. So we've got schedule settings and rotation settings. And there's just a few fields here. You've already set up your dates and your times for your event. You set up how long your rotation is, and you set up how long your opening session and closing session are. It already has 3 default rotations in here. You could do 4 if you wanted to, or you could rename them. And then it generates the whole thing for you. So it's really handy, really cool. It's print friendly, so you can print it out. And it bases it on, it shows the teams and where they're going to be, the groups. Then you can go into your room schedule. And because you had it all set up, that's there already for you. You can print those out for your rooms. And then your teams. So all the same thing, you can print it out, print friendly, one per sheet for your teams. So it's just a really easy way. All you had to do is set 5 or 6 fields, and you're ready to go. You don't have to create all of the different things. Digital library. All right, so this is one of the really exciting areas. You can see there is just a ton of content in here. We've got our guides. All of the guides are in here. You can jump into the director's guide. You can see the table of contents. You can see all of the stuff in there. You could jump into the overview. And you could print just part of the guide, or you could come down to the bottom and you could print the whole guide. You could order a printed copy, jump back to the table of contents. And it works on a smartphone. Did I mention it works on a smartphone? I think I mentioned that. Okay. The music, there's a bunch of, all the music is in here. Contemporary music, memory verse music, traditional music, all of the presentation images, the hand motion videos, instructional videos, simple songs. So there's just so much in here. And it's really handy. You can just come in here and play if you want to preview the songs, or you can download. Same thing for the videos. You can watch it right here, even go full screen if you want, or you can download the file. There's a lot of stuff in here that even costs extra if you're buying the physical product, like the daily drama videos. They're available in Digital Library as well. You can see those there. So posters and signs, there's a ton of those. I mentioned those earlier. And the DVD resources. So all the resources are organized nicely in here, and you can dig into them, download those files. So that's the digital tools. There's a free version that you can use no matter what kit you got, and if you got the Plus Digital, it's even better. It's more customizable. It comes with the digital library. It's a huge amount of content. So I hope you guys use it. I hope you guys enjoy it. We want a lot of feedback on this. In fact, if you run into any trouble, there's a help button on every screen in the bottom left corner. You can click that, and there's a whole system in there, a whole knowledge base kind of thing, where you can ask a question, see if somebody else has asked that question. Sometimes Other people will answer it, but we've always got staff people looking at that every business day and trying to answer your questions and help you with stuff. So there's a lot there. And if there's a reason you're not using it and you want to, I would love to hear about that too, because we want to make this tool better and more useful so it makes your VBS easier, smoother. So again, if you can show that you've signed up for the event already on myanswers.com, or you want to sign up in the back, you get a free DVD. And the other thing I wanted to mention is we do want your feedback. We want to hear any feedback you've got, and we'd love to videotape it if you would allow us to do that. So we've got a guy in the back there raising his hand. If you have anything you'd like to say about Answers VBS curriculum, about the experience you've had with your church, about this event, the things you liked and didn't like about this event, go ahead in the back and tell us about it. We want to make this better and easier for you. So thank you very much.